Welcome to the fourth video in the Solve Bigger Problems, Earn Bigger Rewards mini-course. So far, we've uncovered some big ideas. You've learned that jobs are simply vehicles for solving problems. You've seen how your value rises as the size and scale of the problems you solve increase. And you've reframed school as your tool-gathering phase, not the finish line. Now it's time to get practical. Because there's one skill that every great problem solver must master, no matter your field, industry, or stage of career: the ability to spot and frame valuable problems. This is the beginning of real leverage. This is where your strategic thinking starts to take shape, and this is the skill that separates people who wait for direction from people who create opportunities. So let's break down what this actually means. What does problem spotting really mean? In the simplest terms, it means training your brain to notice things that aren't working as well as they could, and asking one powerful question: could this be better? It sounds basic, almost too simple, but the truth is, most people go through life completely blind to these opportunities. Why? Because they've been conditioned to follow instructions, accept systems the way they are, stay inside the lines of their job description. But problem spotters, the people who rise faster, earn more, and get trusted with bigger responsibilities, they ask different questions. Questions like, why is this being done this way? Is this really the most effective process? Where's the friction here? Is there a smarter, faster, cleaner approach? And right there, in those questions, is where real value begins. Because you can't solve a problem you never noticed, and you can't fix what you've been taught to ignore. This is the skill we're going to build in this module. Let's break problem spotting into a simple, repeatable framework, one you can use every day to sharpen your instincts and elevate your value. Step 1. Observe. Pay close attention to how things work or don't. Notice the websites that glitch, the apps that frustrate you, the processes that feel clunky and slow, the customer experiences that fall short, even the school systems or assignments that feel unnecessarily complicated. Observation is your first superpower. Be curious. Ask why more often. Because the moment you start paying attention, problems reveal themselves everywhere. Step 2. Identify pain. Ask yourself, what's annoying about this? Who is frustrated by this? What's being wasted here? Time, money, energy, emotion? Your goal is simple: detect friction. Find the places where people are struggling more than they should be, where reality isn't matching the way things should work. Those points of frustration are signals, and problem spotters know how to listen. Step 3. Quantify the cost. This is where your framing becomes powerful, because the more you can measure the impact of a problem, the clearer and more compelling it becomes. Maybe it causes a 20% delay every time. Maybe it leads to $500 a month in extra cost. Maybe 40% of users drop off at a certain step in the process. You don't need perfect data, just enough to make the problem visible and undeniable. When you combine observation, pain, and cost, you start seeing problems the way decision makers see them, and that's when your value multiplies. Problem spotting is powerful, but problem framing is what separates thinkers from doers, observers from leaders, and job seekers from value creators. Let's walk through an example. You might notice something simple like, people get confused when checking out on this e-commerce site. That's a decent observation, but it's not enough to create change. Now watch what happens when you frame it properly. The checkout process takes 6 clicks, includes 3 form fields on one page, and leads to a 38% cart abandonment rate. That's costing the company an estimated $10,000 per month. Suddenly, everything shifts. You're not just pointing at a problem, you're showing its shape, its size, its cost, and its consequences. That's how you move from "I noticed something" to I understand what's broken, who it affects, and why it matters. Framing turns information into insight, insight into action, and action into value. Now let's talk about why this matters for your career. Most applicants wait for job postings. They focus on their qualifications. They talk only about themselves, their degree, their experience, their goals. But imagine you walk into an interview and say, I noticed that companies in your industry often struggle with this specific problem. I've been researching it, and I even built a small project that shows one way to improve it. Do you see what just happened? You positioned yourself as a thinker. You demonstrated initiative. You showed that you understand the business, not just the job description. And you shifted the conversation from hire me to here's a problem I can help you solve. That's what employers want, not people who wait to be told what to do, but people who see what needs to be done. Before we move forward, I want you to build the habit that turns ordinary people into extraordinary problem solvers. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes today and start your problem log, a simple exercise that sharpens your ability to notice what others ignore. Step 1. Look around your environment. Choose any setting, your school, your workplace, an app you use every single day, a service you interact with regularly. Anywhere people move, think, click, wait, or get stuck. Step 2. Identify 1 or 2 things that feel inefficient or frustrating. Ask yourself, what's being lost here? Time, money, energy, attention, emotion. Where is someone struggling more than they should? These tiny points of friction are often the seeds of massive opportunities. Step 3. Write it down using this simple format. Problem. Who's affected? Initial cost. Estimated cost or impact. What impact? How often it happens? How it might be improved. That's it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be observed. This is how you begin building your problem-spotting muscle, one small entry at a time. And if you want to go deeper, we've actually created a full problem-spotting journal you can use regularly. Just let me know if you'd like the link. No matter where your career takes you, whether you're applying for jobs, building a business, or aiming for a promotion, being the person who spots problems and frames them clearly is pure gold. That's the person teams rely on. That's the person leaders trust. And that's the person who gets hired, often before the job is even posted. Keep practicing this skill. It compounds, and it never goes out of style.